Alright, what I'm working on now is I am removing the coils off a Tundra strut assembly right here. So this is second generation Tundra right here. I think it was actually a 2.5 to be exact. Like this is a late model second gen Tundra. I'm swapping the coils from the Tundra here onto my Sequoia just because I need the extra lift to support the front end up with my winch and bumper here. So it's weighing down the front a little bit, and I'm bottoming out when I'm hitting bumps. So I'm trying to get the coil of the front end up higher, so that way the shock here is in its working or nominal working range right here. So that way the ride quality would improve instead of having it hanging out at the bottom end right here. It's more towards in the middle area in the working range. Also, if you didn't know already, the Tundra coils have a higher spring rate. So this is a four-wheel drive Tundra coil, so it's about maybe 625 inch-pounds or maybe 650 inch-pounds. This is four-wheel drive, so this is the driver's side here. You can tell by the color codes. So it's a blue-red or a blue-orange, and then the driver's side is a yellow-gray right here. Just a side note, if you do take it off, I noticed this right here. So this is a blue and white stripe at the top. So this here is the new style of coil spring compressor. I think this is a little bit safer than the old style here. So you got these little fingers here that are much narrow that will fit in between tight spacing coils like this one right here. So once you start compressing it down, you got some more room to work with in the event that you need to compress it down even further for whatever reason. This case here, I'm going to try to compress it down about a ½ inch or so, just enough to relieve the pressure here, so that way I can take the pressure off the top hat, remove it out, and then release the coil here to take the coil out of the shock or strut assembly. With new stuff here, you always want to make sure you unthread this all the way and then lube up the threaded shaft right there, so that way it doesn't chew up the threads and it doesn't bind or resist when you're trying to crank down on the compressor here. I'm using an electric impact here. Again, this is not safe here. I'm just using a standard socket here, so always you want to make sure you're using the impact rated, otherwise this could crack and split and you might hurt yourself. Other than two, I'm also using 12-point, probably not recommended. Just stick to the six side, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, anytime you want to do it. So how this works is you loosen up this little lock ring here, so that way it clamps down on the coil so it doesn't slip or whatever the case may be, and then tighten this down or loosen whatever the case, so that way it fits on the top or other end of the coil here to compress. And then just alternate back and forth, tighten it here, tighten it there. Let's go back and forth till you get to a point where the spring's compressed enough to release, or that way you can undo the top hat off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So really, I'm not sure if you want to just kind of work through this here. So I'm just gonna kind of crank down, and hopefully this doesn't snap and hurt myself here. But yeah. Not enough yet. Almost there. That's loose enough. Probably not smart to be sticking my fingers in there. And all right, now let's undo the top hat and then release the spring. So now to release or undo the nut here to release the top hat. So I'm using just a vice grip to clamp down on the stem here, and then so that way it doesn't spin while I back off on the nut right here. Alright, so now the coils are free from the struts. Just a quick comparison here of the Tundra driver and passenger side four-wheel drive coils. So we got the driver side here on the right, passenger on the left. And again, just so you can see it here, so yellow, gray, blue, orange. So what I'm doing is I'm orientating this so that way the coil ends at the top are at the same position here. So just based on common knowledge here, well, common to me, just because this is not my first time here doing this. The driver's side on the Tundra, Toyota compensated for the Toyota lean here. So because the gas tank is on the driver's side, sitting out there in the back, so there's more weight on the driver's side because the back end, also the wheelbase, the back end is at a rake. So that means the back end's higher than the front, putting leverage on the front here. So you got more weight on the driver's side. So that's why here, if you look at it, so if you look at the ends right there, they're all at the same distance. Now if you look here, driver's side right here, passenger side. So you notice here that the coil is a little bit longer. You see how the pigtail is, and whereas look at the driver's side, I mean the passenger side, it's shorter here. So you have more additional height here, and this additional height here is compensate for that Toyota lean, which is, I don't know, maybe like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch higher on the Tundra. I can't remember, but it's just a quick facts for y'all to know. So if you want to match this up, then you would just kind of snip this off or buzz this off, and it'll give you some even height here. So I might end up doing that just for this coil here. So this coil springs, they are the same springs on both the driver and passenger side. So I think they're like blue amber here on both sides, or blue pink on both sides. So yeah, so later on when we get some time, we'll swap these over and we'll compare. So hopefully it'll give me a little height, maybe 1/2 inch would be nice, but we'll see. Thanks.